I love young folks and I want to make sure that they're protected. So when Miss Julie, when she contacted me about talking to you guys, I jumped to the opportunity. Because guess what? You all are the most precious individuals that we have in our community. 10, 20, 30 years from now, guess who's going to be running our communities? You are. So it's important that we as adults do our part today to make sure you're ready for tomorrow, because when I'm old, I need to make sure that someone is going to take care of this world for me. I got a 19-year-old and I have a 5-year-old. The 5-year-old thinks he runs my house. But I have to remind him sometimes that he doesn't. And he has to grow up in this world. And you, one day, might be his leader. So, let's have a conversation tonight about social media and teen trafficking. I hate that we have to have this conversation, but at the same time, it's good that we're having this conversation. I hate that this happens in our community, but at the same time, it's good that we all are aware of this happening in our community. So I got an outline here, and it's important that I have an outline because I'll be all over the place, as you can tell, past few minutes. So we're going to talk about how traffickers use social media to gain victims. And we're going to talk about what type of victims are they looking for, who they prey on. Social media apps that you all need to watch out for. It's important. And then I'm going to give you some tools of how you can make sure you don't become a victim of teen trafficking. All right, so let's talk a little bit about facts and stats for you. 58% of victims eventually meet their trafficker face-to-face. So the conversation starts online, eventually they meet face-to-face. 42% who initially have the conversation with their trafficker online never meet the trafficker in person, but they still end up trafficked. Traffickers educate themselves on the things you post online. Because for some reason, young people have this habit of accepting friend requests from everybody. And I'm not going to ask if you do it because I don't want, your parents to find out if they're in here. But teens accept friend requests from everybody. In fact, they love high follower numbers. Somebody told me one day that you can add a code to your profile and a whole bunch of people become followers of yours. Strangers. For some reason, y'all like that. But they educate themselves. They study their victims to see what they post on their Facebook page. Can anybody tell me, just real quick, why do you think they do that? What do you think the reason is?
You're giving them attention.
I want to give you some attention. I want to build some trust in this soon-to-be relationship. Right? Here are some posts that attracts traffickers. Expressions of fear, expressions of emptiness, expressions of disappointment. You ever seen somebody post something like, "Nobody understands me"? You ever seen someone post, "You know what, I'm tired of being single"? I've seen that plenty of times. Single teenagers love putting it up there. This single life ain't for me. What about a post that says, "Hey, how do I look?" Or a post that says, "I think I'm ugly." What about, "My parents don't trust me"? You ever seen someone post something like that online? Parents get you mad, you go to social media, "I can't stand my parents. They treat me like a kid. I'm a grown woman, I'm a grown man, 15 years old." A post that says, "You know what? I need to get out of here." Traffickers look for that kind of attention on social media. So when they find it, you'll get some responses like this. You know, Susie, I understand you. Complete stranger. You might have one of them tell you that they love you. I think you're beautiful. You posted a status that said you're ugly, and he comes on there and says, I think you're beautiful. I'll make your life better. Your life sucks, I'll make it better. I'll help you out. You are old enough. I'll let you take risks. These are the conversations that traffickers use when they talk with teenagers. I'll help you be successful. You want money? I'll make sure you make good money. And to a young girl or young boy that's dealing with some insecurities, this stuff sounds good. I already don't like my mama. My daddy get on my nerve. No one likes me in this house. And I go online and someone's telling me I'm beautiful. And that they can help me be successful. This is what we call grooming. I found this definition online. I love it. It says a slow, methodical, and intentional process of manipulating a person to a point where they become victimized. Grooming. They do it to build a relationship with you. And in building that relationship, they build trust. And how do they build that trust? They say nice things. They cash out you money. Or Facebook Messenger you money. But they make sure that you trust them. So when I say, hey, would you mind meeting me tonight? I've already made you feel good about yourself. I've given you money. And you think I'm an upstanding kind of guy. You think you'll have a problem coming to meet me? No. Some other tactics that traffickers use, they use threats. They threaten your family, threaten you with your family. If you don't come with me, I'll make sure your mom never see the light of day. They say stuff like this to get kids to do what they want them to do. Coercion. You're on Facebook Messenger talking to them. They say, hey, you don't want your parents to see what we're talking about. You don't want them to see these kind of conversations. Add me on Snapchat. Let's talk on Snapchat. Because you know, Snapchat, when we have these conversations, they go away after a few seconds. It's hard for parents to track Snapchat messages. Extortion. Teenagers send new photos to individuals, and they use that photo against you. They tell you, if you don't do this thing for me, I'll show your parents what you sent me. It's a tactics. This is how they get their victims. Secrecy. They ask you to join secret chat rooms or download secret apps to have conversations with you. Why am I telling you this? Because if someone tells you all of these things, especially a stranger, if they're having this type of conversation for you, run. Run. Because they mean you no good. So what's their target audience? Who are they looking for? What type of teenagers are they looking for? Ages between 12 and 19. Sometimes they're as young as 9 years old. 9 years old, being sold into sex slavery. Teens from all socioeconomic and ethnic backgrounds. Sex traffickers don't care how much money your family makes. Sex traffickers don't care how poor you are. Sex traffickers don't care what the color of your skin is. They just need to make a profit off you. Vulnerable teens, depressed teens, emotionally isolated from families and friends. That teen that stays up in their room all the time and don't want to be around people. Low self-esteem. That teen that's always unsupervised. Parents work 2 jobs, you're home by yourself, nothing to do, always on social media. That's who they're looking for. Teens that are runaways, homeless, victims of domestic violence, sexual abuse. All of these things have something in common, and that's these teenagers are vulnerable. They're looking for vulnerable teens to groom and to set. Anybody heard about this app? Yes? No? I know you guys have heard about it. Anybody else heard about the Monkey app? All right, let me tell you about this app. We're going to talk about some apps you need to stay away from. The kids in my house, when I found out they had this app, I made them download it. I'm sorry, not download it, delete it. All right, so the Monkey app. This app, it allows kids to have fun group chat or fun chats with strangers, essentially, but people around the world. Now, it's location-based, so you can have conversations with people that's in your community. All right, so you go on the app, an individual pops in a video of an individual live, and you're able to have a quick conversation with them. Well, if you like the conversation or you like the person that you're talking to, you can continue the conversation by connecting with them on Snapchat. If you don't like it, and you just disconnect from it. All right? I hate this app for several reasons. But the biggest reason is because it allows our teens to communicate with strangers. There is no, a friend request denied or rejected. That's not what you do. The whole purpose is, let me find someone that I don't know to talk to. Some similar apps to the Monkey app, Moco, Umigo, Meet Me, Stranger Chat. I don't see why any kid would have an app on their phone called Stranger Chat. And it says anonymous Stranger Chat. You don't need that on your phone. All right? Anybody heard of this app before, Hot or Not?
No.
I hate this app too. Hot or Not. This app, it allows you to post a picture, and users who also have the app, they can rate you as whether or not you're hot or not. I want you to think about it. Young girl posts a picture, and everybody comes on and say she's not hot. And then the stranger comes in and say, I think you're beautiful. You think that young lady might respond to that person? Possibly. All right. Similar ones. I got Yugo, used to be Yellow, The League, Down Dating, Tinder, and Wanna Meet. These apps are essentially dating apps, and teenagers don't need them. You don't need a dating app. There's enough boys and girls at school. Snapchat. Everybody got a Snapchat. If you don't have a Snapchat, you're probably weird. I'm just playing. All right? Everybody has Snapchat. There was a time where Snapchat was just for young people. And if an older person had a Snapchat, you was weird for having a Snapchat. All right? But not everybody got it. Everybody got a Snapchat. Snapchat is probably the most dangerous apps in the hands of our children. I'll tell you why. Let me tell you a little bit about Snapchat just in case you don't know. So you can take a picture, post it to your story. It'll stay up for about 24 hours and then it'll go away. You can take a picture or send a message to a friend. It'll be a private message, but after a few seconds, unless you save it, it'll go away. Or unless you screenshot it. Why is it dangerous? Because it's hard to monitor an app that deletes stuff automatically. Snapchat is probably the biggest form of teen sexting among our young people. They use Snapchat to send nudes to one another. This is why I think Snapchat is the most dangerous app. Some of the features, they got a discover section where they talk about provocative things, drugs, explicit stuff. Then you have the Snap Map. Snap Map allows you to share your location. And then you have the streaks. Let me ask the adults in the room, do you know what Snap Streaks are? Yeah? All adults? All right. Ms. Ross, you know what a Snap Streak is? So let me tell you about Snap Streak. Julie, how much more time I got?
Like 2 minutes.
Okay. Snap Streaks, kids, they send a picture twice a day, send and receive a picture twice a day, and if they do that every day, consistently, Snapchat keep a track of how often they do it, right? So every day they have, the days add up, and so it becomes their streak. I wish kids would be more consistent with their work as much as they're consistent with sending those pictures. But that is something that they're doing. All right, so since I got like a minute and a half, how can, Okay, great. How do we make sure that our kids stay protected from sexual predators online? This is very important. I want you to pay attention to this part. First thing you need to make sure that you're doing is being mindful and being vigilant. Right? Just like parents encourage you to be mindful and vigilant when you're out in public of your surroundings, you need to know what's going on. You need to be mindful and vigilant of what's going on social media. If someone is on your post saying some weird stuff, be mindful of it. Don't be gullible or naive to think, oh, he's just a kind man. If a stranger is being extra kind on your social media, block him. Use that block feature, all right? Follow your gut. Young ladies, you have this thing called intuition. Follow it. If you're talking to someone online and it just seems odd, block them. Let me tell you something, I use that block feature a lot. Someone comes on my post and they say something out the way and I don't like it, I block them. You post something on my page and I think it's inappropriate, I'm blocking you. You send me a message and the message is out the way, I'm blocking you. I don't mind using the blocking feature. You know what I don't understand about young people? I don't understand why you got friends on your social media accounts that you don't like. And they don't like you. And y'all be arguing on social media. Block them. Block that kid. All right? Communicate with a trusted adult. I'm a big advocate for mentoring. Every young person in the world should have a mentor because guess what? Parents, young people are not going to tell you everything. And so because they're not going to tell you everything, you want to connect them to a trusted adult so they can have someone to talk to. All right? Contact the local authorities if need be. All right, this is my contact information. Feel free to take a picture of it. I hate talking on the phone, but if you need to talk, I can make myself available, but I'm a big texter. You can shoot me an email. If you have questions, law-related, I might be able to answer it. I deal particularly with kids, so I don't know a whole lot about the street stuff, and I'm not ashamed of that. But let me say this last point, Julie, and then I'm done. All right? I wrote a book. The book is called A Gift Worth Fighting For. It's about children being a gift from God. There's a passage in the Bible that says children are a gift from God. And the book is about how we as adults can change some things in our lives in order to make sure our kids are successful. Here's the cool thing about what God said about children. He considers you a gift. And so if in your mind you think your life sucks, if in your mind you think you're ugly, you're not worth it, you're nobody, I want you to think about the fact that God considers you a gift. And when we give a gift to someone, we don't give them trash. We give them something from the heart. Young people, you came from the heart of God. And nothing that comes from the heart of God is trash. Nothing that comes from the heart of God is invaluable. It has a lot of worth to it. And so be mindful of that. You know, especially if you're going through moments of depression or you feel like you don't fit in because none of the popular kids want to hang around you, that don't even matter. God considers you a gift. And you are that gift. And be proud that you're that gift. Thank you.
Preach. Walking off the stage like a madman. Whoa.